Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Create with Sharon Hoppy Designs. I'm so happy to see you here. Let me get rid of that. We don't need that up right now. How's everybody on this triple texture Tuesday? Yes, we are going to triple texture. Let's see. We have, let me turn Tuesday. Let me turn my sound off. So we have Diane and Frog Sticker and Sherry and Misty and Clay Amazing Artworks. Oh, that would be Christina. Beautiful day in San Diego. Oh, hey Vicky from Las Vegas. Mr. Joe Bott, I see you on from Utah. Edie from Wyoming. Hey Peggy. So when we go to see Mr. Bott at ClayCon West, we have other business in Utah. So, oh no, I swear to you, that bird has not squawked one single time today. Mr. Wilson, if you're on, will you come cover the bird, please? He never squawked while I was doing everything else. Hey, Susan. Hey, Jeanette.
That's because you ain't talking to him.
I was talking when I was filming all day, and he was so quiet all day till I go live. Just like a child, right? He is a child. So let's see. Hey, Miss Carla. Hi from Durango, and hey, Mr. Wilson. That would be from Susan. He was here in the room, so he wasn't watching. Hey, Miss Sharon. How are ya? All right, so tonight we're going to do a triple texture Tuesday. Now, I know he got excited for you mentioning. I know who said that comment. Yes, ClayCon. Hi, Katrina. Okay, so last week we worked with creating these great big serving dishes, or they could be platters. They are bisque fired now. I've gotten that far. So look at the texture on these bad boys. See if I can get this under there. Oh, there we go. Look at the texture on that. Can you see that? It is amazing. This is, we named it Buckle Up. Ovalish, squarish, rectangle-ish, whatever-ish. And then this was the 3 deep. And this one was the 2 deep. Look at this bad boy. Okay, and the same form in a baby form was used to create this. And I want you to see the total difference. Same form, same template, total different look on a single versus a double versus a triple. So you can go big, you can go small, you can go anything. Whoa, where's my thing? Anything. I can't do this backwards. Anything at all. And then last week we also took a look at Mr. Wilson's diamond plate, and I did a fun little mix match dish. I am so proud of myself. I've got them bisque fired, and I will be working on glazing them this week. And then I believe it was in the slab group, we made a square mug using our smaller Montana leather design. Nice pretty square, which this is how I like to drink my square mugs, just like this with my fingers through there. But I think that's fun. This has not been bisque fired, so I don't want to play around with it too much. So, hey, Miss Paula McCoy and Jill Romero. Did I say that right? and Amanda, Katrina, I think I said hi to you, but in case I didn't. Okay, so tonight we are going to, I think it was in my slab group that I created, and we did that. Oh gosh, I forgot to bring that big bowl over. I did a great big bowl, and it had the handle on the template, and it looked like this. Well, my slab to fab group, which is my voice, said love it, love it, love it, but want the handles just a bitty bit more. So I did. Let me turn it this way so you can see the difference. So I made the handles about a 1/4 inch bigger. The handle will come out about a 1/4 inch more. Nothing else. Everything else is the same. I'm just holding it cockeyed. But the handle will be about a 1/4 inch more. So we're going to play with that tonight. And I did it in a rectangle so it could go with these same forms we've been using, our buckle up form. So I also did it in a rectangle so you could play with that. And originally tonight I was going to use my fancy oval because I thought that would look good with that, and this would make, in this case, if I used this form, of course it would go like this, and then the sides would come up and out, and this would give a handle of its own. So this is the fancy oval, but I didn't end up using that tonight because I went with the square instead, and I did a really fun thing with that. Hey Tiffany, I see you. I see Bridget, and I see Miss Melody. Okay, so we have, and don't forget guys, we have, let me get rid of this. We have YouTube streaming at the exact same time, and I see a bunch of you over here on YouTube. Edie, I see you over there, and Jill and Cindy and Tiffany and Betsy. So yay to YouTube. Be sure and like, subscribe, and comment. I can see your comments here on my screen. I can't comment back unless I go down to my phone. But I try to answer those after, or at least after the live, or I'll address them on the air when I see those. Who's watching from the football field? I saw somebody watching from the football field. Okay, so who? Oh, Sharon, you're watching from the football field. Okay, so I want to get started with tonight's video because I was having a heck of a time getting my clay to dry today. It was just floppy, floppy, floppy. It's been sitting outside, and even still, I haven't flipped it out yet because it's still kind of floppy. So when we get to that point, I'll actually flip it out live and show you what the parts and pieces are going to be. So first off, let's take a look at our first video. I am here with the products I'm going to use today. I'm going to use an 8x8 square hybrid. These are the straight sides with the nice, beautiful round over and the hole, which works in our banding wheel system. Also holds our plucker doodad. And I don't have with me, but I'm going to use a little lip template, which is, a lip template is the exact same size of the shape, but sticks out about 1/4 of an inch in order to get that beautiful edge and make it easy to cut. I'm also going to use our 8x3 deep hybrid form. Notice how it has that little slight angle to make it pop right out with our bowling ball, signature bowling ball, signature rounded edges, and our signature angle here. So I'm going to use those two, and this is one of our newest Handle It templates. This is the Handle It Square template. It is a 10.5. The 10.5 is this way, widthwise, but the side with the handles, because they stick out, make it a little over 11 inches. We redesigned this. Originally it was like this, and the request was, let me put it this way. The request was to make the handles just a skosh larger. So I did that. I added about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a hair more than 1/4 of an inch, about 1/4 of an inch to each side. And so that will give it a little bigger handle on the side. And so let's see what we're going to make with this today. Well, I have a very wet, let me see where you can find it, very wet slab of Trinity ceramic by local ceramic stores, Loco Moco. Again, equivalent to Laguna's B3. This is Trinity's version called Loco Moco. It is this dark, beautiful chocolatey clay, and I love the workability of it. I love the color of it, and I've been dying to see our Montana leather design in a dark chocolate, like covered with cream or snow or honey flux, some type of white, because its texture is so deep. And I also want to see Mr. Wilson's diamond plate in this dark clay. So with that, I'm going to play and do a mixture. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me move this out of my way. I am going to roll some of my Montana leather. You notice that the design comes right off one end of this. And I want to use that side. I don't want to use the side that it didn't come off, just because this is what I want to do. And I'm going to roll this and kind of be a little heavier on this end, hoping that it'll kind of go in a curve. Try to stay out of your way here. And I think I did get it in a slight curve. And I want to release this. This is very wet, but look at this texture. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. This is super deep. Now I'm going to take my wave roller. This is the 1-inch roller, and I put a dowel rod through it so that I can like go around if I want to. So I'm going to take this, and I don't want to press very hard. I'm going to put my fingers against the rod so it will stay. And again, I don't want to press very hard because it's a super deep roller, and I just don't want it super deep or pressed very hard. So I'm going right up this edge. There. Look at the depth of that. And I really was not trying to get it deep. Now, let me move my camera over just a little, because I'm going to come up this side with the diamond plate. Let me move this out of my way. Grab the diamond plate, and I kind of want to stay along this line. So hopefully I won't get in your camera, but I'm sure I probably will. Okay, so I'm going to come right up the edge of this, and I don't have to press very hard because this is a very deep pin as well. So I'm going right up that edge. Have to concentrate on this, guys. There. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? And again, this is super, super duper wet. Look at that texture. I can't even pick it up to show you because it's too wet. Let me see if I can bring this in though for you. Hold on. Bring this one in. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? So let me put that back. Bring me back on. And look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this set just a bit and stiffen up. It's just too floppy woppy. And then I'll set up my Handle It template along with my 3 deep 8-inch, and we're going to go over the top of this and create the bottom of our dish. We'll be right back. So I told you what we were going to do, and then I turned right around and didn't do it right. But that's okay. So what I did was, instead of putting the texture on the outside, which is what I wanted to do, same as I always do, I stuck it right on the inside. But that's okay. You're going to get the idea of what's going on here. No, Christine, it just is not sticking to these pins at all. Not a slight bit. And I believe that is because there's no burn in these pins. They're not done on the laser, so they're not burnt. And I think the burn is what sticks in the clay. But I did not cornstarch them. I did not do anything to them. Just like our boards, I have one. This one's here. This is a sample. This is a sample of this one when we did the longboard. But these boards, they this was just the sample that I ran before I ran the full size. They just do not, the clay does not stick at all. It just does not. It's just like what we use here. Clay does not stick whatsoever. See you there. Oh, are you going to be at ClayCon, Sherry? Is that what you're saying? See you there? Okay, so let's move on. Now remember, today was a bit of the struggle because that clay was so wet. It's still wet. I'm hoping I'll be able to flip it when we get to that stage. So let's move on. I'm back, and what I have done is I've grabbed my banding wheel system that locks on, and we make these just slightly bigger because Shimpo casts their banding wheel, which means you can't ever guarantee a price. But if you don't like that little wiggle, stick a little tiny piece of clay right in there, and there. Now it won't, and it will not go anywhere. It will not slide off. Spin it and it will stay centered. This is a hand builder's game-changing dream. Okay, so I've put this on here. Now to put my Handle It template. Again, it's a 10.5 I'm using, and I'm using the 8x8 hybrid square on here. And again, won't go anywhere. Will not, can't go oops and push it off. It's not going to happen. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my clay. And you know, I like to take my slab and put it in behind the form, away from me, with the texture facing me, so that as I come up and over, I can make sure I'm covering everything with my clay. And now I have to think. So I put that design in the middle, the wave in the middle. Do I want that design to go cattywampus? Do I want it to go straight? Do I want it off to the side? I don't think it is going to matter where it goes, I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But I am going to put my handles lengthwise. They stick out the furthest. And I don't have a measuring thing here. Well, I know what it is. It's 11. And, but I want my clay to come this way. So it's easier for me to see that I'm getting those handles covered. So I'm going to pause you, go grab my clay, come back and try to unpause and get the clay all on at the same time. Okay, so for the next video, I think I belong in a circus. I'm trying to put my clay in my lap and get the camera on, get the clay over. And yes, cattywampus, Christine. Cattywampus. Misty, love the new designs in this form. So many choices. There's going to be so many more choices soon. By the way, all of you in my Slab to Fab group, please be sure and be on. We're going to make a project in there, and then I have announcements that's going to affect everybody. So be sure and be on. Melody switched over to YouTube and it's working better. Yay! Everybody should switch over to YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment, because we are going to be moving most everything to the YouTube channel. Facebook is just so iffy these days. And I've seen so many people get locked out of their own accounts, lose all their contacts. So I'm really pushing to go over to YouTube. You. Darn birds. Okay. While I was filming today, I had 4 dogs laying here beside me, and they never made a peep. One little bird, and he's a noisy dude. Okay, let's go on to this next video. Okay, I have this slab sitting here, and it's super, super wet. I'm going to have to work really, really fast. And I think I'm going to take the heaviest end. Whoa, stay. And go behind me, because it'll hold up fastest. And I'm actually going to go across this way. Across to this way. Ooh, I got to be careful. I think I almost went too deep on this. So I want to make sure I come across here. Oh, I can't do that. Let me get a little piece and wet this, because I went a little deep, and I'm going to try to salvage this, show you some of my little salvage techniques, just like that. See how I took that right out of there? All right. Now I'm going to lift and lift and bring this in just like this, and bring these edges in. Now I want to get I definitely want to get some of this off of here before it's too late. Oh, my stuff's on the other table. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to cut some of this heaviness off right on the end of my board. And I'm going to save this because I can make trinket dishes or something out of that. Again, right across the board. And I cut that just a hair short. Having one of those days, I will tell you. Yeah, we got that to stretch. We're good. Okay, so this is coming down just fine. Again, this clay was way too soft to be working with. Find my baby. And it's probably at the bottom of my bucket. Ah, it is. Don't you love when your bucket gets stinky? Okay, I'm gonna come across the top here. Whoa. Way too much water on that. Okay. So let's swoop to get this in. And this clay is so soft, I just might be killing my texture because it's so soft. And really what I meant to do, I meant to put this texture on the outside, not the inside, which is fine. We'll just change what we were gonna make. Just going across this. Again, it was so soft. But everything, most everything, is fixable. I'm just going around all of it. Just to get it down. Okay. Now I'm going to take my smoothing sponge because this is kind of a mess. And again, it's because my clay was so soft. I mean, I've had it outside in the sun and it's just not even setting up. And I'm not sure why. All right, let's go around the outside edge and see what we come up with. Start here, come in, find my template. There's the handles. There's the other handle. Oh, look at. Oh, looky. Okay, I do want to go down. I know that I did miss some stuff because I was really just trying to get a clean cut around here. Okay. Now, I'm going to very lightly go across the top of this. Going back was probably a bad idea, but it worked. And now, look at that, right across the top. And right in the middle, or right on the side, I'm going to put my signature. Now, I don't know if I smushed the clay in the bottom by doing that. This is all experimental. I'm going to come around and clean this up. This is really just to show you that we extended the handles per request. There it is. I want to come in on these little whoop-de-doos and really kind of push them in. To accent them. And I need a little smoothing right here. If you have a little, like, big piece that should have gone in there, I sometimes will fill it very wet and then come across with my rib, and you'll never see it, and that'll take that blank-ish spot right out of there. Now I'm just going around to smooth it. Look at that. And there's your bottom. All right, I'm going to go put this away and let it set up a bit. Once it sets up a bit, I will lift it, flip it over, take the template off, and put it back over and set it on a form or something so that it's not straight across, so that the handles will kind of slightly go down, so that when you fire them, they won't just flop back, but maybe they'll come more at an angle. So we'll be back. So what'd you think of that? Triple texture in the front and a texture in the back. Now, really what I needed to do was put that triple texture on the outside for the project I'm making tonight. Now, I saw that Sherry asked, how do you not lose the texture on the outside? Well, and before I answer that, well, I did answer, we're going to see that in the next video. But I do want to say I am so excited about how many people have jumped over to YouTube. Again, we are going to start really building YouTube because Facebook is getting a little wonky. So be sure and get used to YouTube if you're not a YouTuber. And Sherry, let's answer your question in this next video. Back again, this time with a square lip template. This square lip template is the shape of my square hybrid form. Actually, this is a dual drape. It's got straight sides. Lip template is the same shape and gives you just this perfect little border around here. And now I'm going to go get a piece of clay, and we're going to be back to play with this. I'm back. I have my form, my lip template, 8x8, and I have a piece of clay. Now, I want the texture on the outside because this is going to be a lid, and I want it to kind of go across. Let me see if I'm getting enough. Well, I might not be able to go across. I might have to go, well, I'll have to go straight in order to get this enough clay. All right, but this is going to be the outside. Really wish I had enough to go at a slight angle. Let me see if I can slight angle this. Yeah, I'll just go straight before I jack it up. This is that one that was so wet that I flopped around, so not sure how this will do. I have some little surface cracks that I'm wiping with my fingers. And this one we'll be doing with our hands because texture's on the outside. I meant to put the texture on the outside on the square dish, but I got carried away and forgot. I'm going to just take some of this off. I like to get a lot of my excess so I know what I'm working with. There we go. Now, I'm using my hands right along here. You can see what's wet. And now I'm going to come in and hit that little 1/4 inch-ish or so lip template around there. Okay, I got lots of excess here. I don't know how I ended up with so much excess, but I did. There. Now look at this. Now this, oh, that came out perfect. And I got it slightly swooped. And I don't know if I can get it to match up with the bottom, but oh, I love that. All right. We'll be back to put this together in a moment. So do you ever want to cry when you're working on your clay? Let me see who that was. Chandra. Hi Sharon, is the little roller in between the Montana leather and the diamond plate pins an MKM, or is it one of your beauties? It is one of my beauties. It is on my website under the 3D carved 1 and 2 inch rolling pins. It is a 1 inch roller, and it will come. Right now we're also sending the little dowel rods, but eventually we're not. Eventually it'll just be the roller. You can actually, we route the edges so that they're kind of rounded, and you can take and put your fingers in them just like this and roll it without the dowel rod. It's not necessary to have one. Or I like to use these, put my fingers here, and then it gives me a little, I can wave if I want to. Hey Dawn. Okay, so back to what I said. Have you ever wanted to just cry when you're working on clay? Come on everybody, cry with me. Because while you were watching the video, I went over to my slab roller to get that pot and bring it over here, and you're gonna die when you see this. I tripped over one of my dogs, and this is what I did. The whole thing pitched in the floor. The whole thing, form and all, pitched in the floor. Didn't hurt my form. You can see where the form hit right there. So this was going to be my beautiful pot. But my dog, there's no saving this. So this was the pot with the pretty back and the pretty pot, and it was either land on my face or lose the pot, and I decided to lose the pot. But I might have a way of, I know, look at it. I mean, it just slammed. But even though it's slammed, I mean, you can see where that formed, because I was carrying it. I was carrying it like this, and I tripped over the dog, and it landed. I guess I was carrying it like this, and it just, boom, landed. And even though it landed like that, I mean, look at how much of the texture is still left. That's how deep. Now I don't even think it'll work for a dog bowl, Betsy. It's pretty mangled. But, broke your toe tripping over your dog last time. Oh no, Melody. Let me go get what was going to be the top to this and show you. Mr. Wilson got upset that I tripped over the dogs. Not at me, but at the dogs. So he went and put them up. Let me go grab the lid real quick. Okay. So here is the lid. This would have, let me take this off. This would have sat right on top of this. Look at how gorgeous that would be. Who is Mr. Wilson? He is the other half of Sharon Hoppy Designs. Brenda. So he makes the forms. And, I could make some earrings out of this, Misty. But this is hard. This is soft. It's probably more reclaim. But what would happen, you see that? This was going to sit right inside here, and you wouldn't have even needed a flange or anything. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this one. Let me get this stuff out of my way. I'm going to take the template off, and you see how perfect these edges are from cutting it on that template. Now I could probably look at that, I could pick that up, but I want to show you, we have new people. I want to show you our plucker doodad. If you, what are you looking at? Oh, if you put this down, that's Mr. Wilson. That's what you. Yes, it's Mr. Wilson's fault. No, he wasn't even in the room. He was in the other room. He's actually in cooking dinner. I have old ones in here. He's actually in cooking dinner. And when I squealed, he came a-running. So you put that in there, you twist the little knob until it gets tight. It expands that rubber goodie and pulls this out. And it lifts right out for you. Sherry, did you get Dennis the Menace's neighbor and Sharon's other howled? So here, Sherry, did you get how I used my hands to get this? And look at how straight up that is. So what would have happened is it would have, if things had worked out, let's see if I can get this somewhat in a shape. If it had worked out, it would have sat right in here on the top. Can you see how that would have looked? But it was not meant to be today. So I do have one I did the other day. This one has been bisque fired. So this is going to be much smaller, so I don't think this is going to fit. But it would give you somewhat of an idea. If this was fired, it would fit. It would fit right here in the edge. And I got brown clay. It would fit right there in the edge, and you wouldn't even need. But this, even in itself, what a beautiful little dish this would be, which is why I chose not to put a handle on this. Because if you have this dish and then you have this as your lid, you can serve in both of them if there's no handle. So it's up to you whether you want to put a handle or not. But I love, look at this. Now, what about a wall pillow? Would this not, if you put a back on this and then put a little pinhole or keyhole hole in there to hang it on a nail, look at how gorgeous that would be hanging on your wall. Absolutely wonderful. So I'm really a little bit done because I was going to finish this and put it all together. Well, one thing I can show you though is, I'm not sure if you could see this, what I would do, this is straight off the form. Look at these edges. And that the little bump is from putting it on that. But what I would do now is I would take my smoothing sponge and just kind of go around and smooth this. And if it needed, if you had your form, if you didn't drop it on the floor, poor Mr. Wilson, when he came in the room, I was going like, look at my form. Oh. But, you know, we all work with clay. We all have oopsies, and I'll make another one when I get off the air, so that this will have a top. If it wasn't even, which this one is very even, but if it wasn't even, I would use my Sureform and come across the top or the sides. This one's full of B-mix, so it'll get all over this. But what I could do is just smooth it around and make it nice and even. And I would smooth out the inside of this or leave the texture. That's because I did it on my table. Anyway, so there's the inside. And here is your outside. I mean, does it get any more gorgeous than this? This is 1, 2, 3, Triple Texture Tuesday. Montana Leather, The Wave, and Mr. Wilson's diamond plate. And I think that these three go together like Oreos and milk. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and cut it a few minutes early. Give me a chance to run to the bathroom before I go into my Slab to Fab group. Seems how I have reclaim. I have reclaim. That was so sad. That was going to be so pretty. So you slabbers, jump on over, run and get yourself something to drink, run and go use the restroom, and I will see you guys over in the Slab to Fab group, where we have another project that we're making. Somewhat similar. I won't fall. I won't drop it, I hope. And I will see you guys over there. For the rest of you, after the live, I will go into I will edit the description here, and I will put what I used for tonight's live. Make 2 with the same form to have one for the bottom and one for the top. Then you can use it as a casserole or 2 serving dishes that match. Yes, Melody, that's kind of like what we did with our those little casserole dishes. We did them exactly with the same template for a bottom and a top, and they could be casserole dishes, except I put a lid. I put a handle. So don't put a handle, and you can have a double doer. A double doer? A double doer. All right, guys. Subbers, see you over there, and Create group, I will see you next week, if not before.